Oh, hello! It's time for the Burt Locker Casuals Guide to UFC 299. If you're new to this, basically what I do is I break down the entire fight card from top to bottom, the earliest prelim to the maniest main event. Alright? I try to get it done in a quick hit style so that it doesn't take all bloody night, because you've got places to be. I've got things to do. We're all very busy. It's why this is only one of two episodes that I've gotten out on time this week. I'll be doing a recap of Jartino, Rosenstruik and all the rest in due course. But I wanted to get these fight picks done because this is a card that I'm very much excited about. I'm also going to be trying to do something a little bit different this time in terms of the video presentation. I'm going to try and do a picture-in-picture of what I'm looking at on this screen. If it looks like a previous episode, like completely, then that means I failed, because I'm obviously recording this before having attempted doing it in post, you see. Little peek behind the curtain there, eh? Pretty nice. Anyway, I'm going to get cracking with the Casuals Guide for UFC 299. Right, okay, so we're starting off in the ladies' flyweights. Joanne Wood, formerly Calderwood, taking on Marina Moroz. Now, Wood, she's 3 in her last 8. She's a good all-rounder. She usually goes to decisions like a lot of the time. Moroz, she's a master of sports in kickboxing, so it's no secret what she's going to try and do. I'm going to take Moroz in this one just because, with the greatest of respect, Joanne Wood has not looked good in some time. Then you've got CJ Vergara taking on Asu Almabayev. Now this one's a pretty good one. CJ has got very good hands, actually. He's got very good boxing. Good KO, right? 7 out of 12 wins by knockout. And then you've got Asu Almabayev. He's another one of these killers out of Kazakhstan. You're getting a lot of these dudes coming out of there now. What is he? He's like 18-2, 9 submissions. Man, this guy's very, very good. CJ Vergara has lost twice by submission, which is why I'm taking Almabayev by submission in that one. Then you've got the heavyweights. Robelius Despain. I don't know how to... Despain. I'm going to say Despain. Gets just Parisian. Now, Robelius Despain is that Cuban kickboxer guy, Taekwondo fella, sorry. The gold medalist in Taekwondo from Cuba, the genetic freak that everyone's been... You've probably seen a post about him here or there. That's who this guy is. The guy with the tremendous reach. What is his reach? He's not 6'7", with a ridiculous reach, and he's knocked out all 4 of his first opponents, but he's never fought in the UFC. Now, Parisian, he's a big lump. He sweats a lot, he hits a lot, he's pretty nice, but he's not beating Despain. He's been brought in there to just get battered by him, and that's probably what's going to happen. I'm going to take the Cuban by fatality in that one. Then you've got the middleweights. Michel Pereira taking on Mikhail Oleksichik. How do I say it? I'll put the Oleksichik, I think, is the pronunciation on that one. Apologies if I've got it wrong. Not even sorry. Michel Pereira, he's one of my absolute favourites. He backflips all over the ring. He uses up a lot of energy on his pre-fight antics. But man, he is fun to watch. He really is. He kind of flips around less these days. He's a little bit more measured, but he has this capoeira background, so he's always just kicking from places you wouldn't even imagine. He's got unorthodox striking, very big power. Oleksichik, he's very well rounded. He does all the simple stuff really, really well. He's kind of a polar opposite of Pereira in terms of fight styles, but he's very, very solid in kind of every area. But I don't know. I think Pereira has more ways to win, although I would say, look, Oleksichik, he has got good hands, deceptively good hands. He's got 14 knockouts. You don't knock out 14 people if you don't know how to strike. I just feel like Pereira is going to be too explosive, too unorthodox. I feel like he's going to catch something. I'm taking Pereira by knockout in that one. Then you've got Ion Cutelaba against Philip Lins, headlining the early prelims. Now, Ion Cutelaba, he's a monster for the first 60 seconds, right? He really is. He's very scary. He's got big power, and he will come flying at you for the first minute, maybe minute and a half. At which point his output it dips pretty tragically, to put it mildly. Then you've got Philip Lins. Philip Lins, he's really good with his hands. He used to fight a heavyweight, actually, and he's actually a Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu black belt as well. I think that Ion Kusaleba, he's just so unreliable. He really is. Like, I love watching him fight because he's an old school brawler. He's the last of a dying breed, and dying is the optimum term. I think that Philip Lins finds his neck and gets the choke. So that's the early prelims. Now we're moving on to the prelims. Don't forget, just hit like and subscribe if you want to see more of these videos. I've been a bit inconsistent with them lately, so if you want to hit the bell notification, it'll tell you when they drop. Huh? How's that for a plug? Pretty nice. There you've got Pedro Munoz taking on Kyler Phillips. This is in the bantamweight division. Pedro Munoz out of Brazil. Man, he is legit. He's a legend of the sport, right? He was very close to a title fight, but then he just keeps on getting beaten, right? He's got good striking, very short arms, and he generates a lot of power with those short arms. Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu black belt, and there's levels to black belts. He's a very high one. If he gets your back, you're having a bad day. Like, no, it's just not going to be a fun time for you. Now, Kyler Phillips is really good. One win he's got that really impresses me is Song Yadong. Anybody that manages to beat Song Yadong is pretty good. He's well-rounded. He uses his reach really well. He's got a massive reach advantage in this. Like, do you know what I mean? He's got 8 inches, more or less. That's going to be a huge factor in this. I'm going to take Phillips by decision. I think he's going to pick Pedro Munoz apart, but Munoz is difficult to finish. Then you've got Mateus Gamrot taking on Rafael Dos Anjos, Dos Onions, legend of the sport, RDA. But I'll start off by looking at Mateus Gamrot. Mateus Gamrot, he fights out of Poland, 23-2, 23-2 rather. He's just got such an impressive record, and I'll tell you why that is. His grappling is relentless, and he's quite interesting in his grappling style. He often grabs like the ankle. He shoots his takedowns very, very low. Often takes one leg, lets go, takes another, but he chains it all together so that you make a mistake, get yourself off balance, kind of protecting that leg, and then that's when he'll go underneath and he'll grab you, throw you to the floor, get the trip. He's relentless with it, and it looks like it's all just random kind of scrambles. It's not. It's orchestrated. All of it is orchestrated, and once he gets you to the ground, man oh man, his control is just phenomenal. But controlling Rafael Dos Anjos is going to be difficult. Dos Anjos is a Hall of Famer, former champion, Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu black belt with elite level boxing. He's got great kicks as well. The art of 8 limbs, he really does. He puts it all together. And he's got a double leg that is just phenomenal. Like, you've seen him just... Also, his fight IQ. His fight IQ is on another level. He will fight the fight that he knows is worse for his opponent, because Dos Anjos is frankly good everywhere. I do think that he's running into some trouble with Mateus Gamrot here, though. Mateus Gamrot, I just think he's going to be slightly too much for RDA at this point in RDA's career. I'm going to go for the TKO. I think it will be ground and pound, most likely. I'm not sure about the submission. He would be the first to ever submit RDA if he was to get the submission. But I think, yeah, ground and pound TKO for me in that one for Mateus Gamrot. Caitlin Kerminara Chukagian. Call yourself whatever the fuck you like. You are Caitlin Chukagian to me. You always will be. All right? Anyway, taking on Macy Barber. This one's interesting. Chukagian, look, she's a solid fighter, unspectacular. She is the decisionator. She's got 15 decisions on 18 wins, right? She's been inactive since 2022, which isn't the best. She's not young anymore. I don't know how old she is, but she's not young. Macy Barber is a young, up-and-coming fighter. She's fun. Even her decisions are exciting to watch. And she's got savage ground and pound. When she gets top positions, she rains down blows like you would believe. I'm taking Macy Barber in this one just because I feel like she's more aggressive. I think the aggression is going to be a big factor in this one. Chukagian Kerminara, she's been out since 2022. I don't think that's going to help. So yeah, I'm taking Macy Barber in that one, in short. And you've got Curtis Blades against Jelton Almeida. Now, this is the heavyweight bout. This one could headline any fight night that you want. This is why this card is so interesting. You've got Curtis Blades versus Jelton Almeida headlining the prelims. That is batshit. That is nuts. All right? Curtis Blades, absolute monstrous wrestler. He is elite of elite when it comes to wrestling. Like, don't let this guy get a hold of you. Because he's big as well. He's 6'4", he's just huge. And like, I think it was against Mark Hunt, he just picked him up and just suplexed him all over the octagon. He will let people get to a certain defensive position just so it opens up another offensive position for him. He doesn't grab hold of it. It's a very good way to wrestle. He waits for his opponent to move that arm that he wants him to move, so then he can take that next position. His wrestling really is very, very high level, and he's so big and so strong to couple it as well. His ground and pound is just absolute savagery. When you see the elbow that he drops on Alistair Overeem, split his wig wide open. It would go back and watch that. That's an example of what this gentleman is capable of. Curtis Blades is so much more dangerous than most people give him credit for, just because he does have a few losses here and there, like the one to Derek Lewis. But, you know, you get caught by Derek Lewis, you get caught by Derek Lewis. It happens, right? But people have written this gentleman off far too quickly. I do think he has a title reign in his future. I really do. Jailton Almeida's another one. He should have a title reign in his future, really. He's absolutely elite when it comes to grappling. He's slightly smaller for the heavyweights. He walks around at about 235, and he fights at heavyweight, even though he could probably cut to light heavyweight, if he's being honest. Now, he's run through every other heavyweight, but he fought a very smart fight against Derek Lewis, if unspectacular, but he did what he had to do to win that fight because his grappling was just so superior. His stand-up is very good as well, but it's his grappling that sets him apart. Now, can he look that good in grappling against a wrestler the caliber of Curtis Blades? I don't think that he can, honestly. I really don't. And one thing with Curtis Blades, we've seen him recently, is that man, he's learned how to throw. He's learned, like, don't get hit by that by that right cross. It will put you out. He's got such big power in his hands. And there's so much danger there, wherever you are with Curtis Blades. And that's where I'm going. I'm taking Blades by TKO, ground and pound. I think he's going to knock him down on the feet, because I think that the grappling's going to be a bit of a stalemate. So I think they'll put it together on the feet, and I see Blades improving more and more on that stand-up, and he's just got ungodly power. So then we move to the main card. Kicking off the main card, Peter Yan against Song Yadong. Now, this one is a classic Russia versus China matchup. I don't know how classic that conflict is, if I'm totally honest. But anyway, Yan, what I like about Yan is he's a real nasty bugger. He really is. He's nasty. You can tell that he's a piece of garbage. If he wasn't fighting in the UFC, he would be in a tracksuit in Russia, in a gang, like probably doing some pretty horrible things to anyone that walks down the underpass of wherever they are. That's the kind of guy that he feels like to me. I don't know, never met him. Great guy, never met him. But he's got a real mean streak in him. He's got such good hands. There was one time before, he was going to be a gold medalist in some, I think it was like a boxing competition or something, but he got into an actual fight the night before and broke both of his hands. That's the kind of guy you're dealing with Peter Yan. And look, recent form aside, put that aside, right? He's coming off 3 losses, okay? The only loss where he looked like he was kind of a bit of a fish out of water was against Merab Dvalishvili. Merab just dog walked him. Merab's too much for anyone. Merab is the best bantamweight on the planet right now, in my opinion. And I think that we'll see him be the champion sooner rather than later. But other than that, Peter Yan lost like a split decision to Cejudo and to O'Malley. Yeah, but they're both split decisions, is my point. They were both very close fights. You could have given him either of those, if I'm totally honest. Don't forget how good Peter Yan is, though, because his footwork is elite, his boxing is on another level, his takedown defense is very good, and he'll even uncork a head kick here or there. Uriah Faber found that out. Then you've got Song Yadong, Uriah Faber's prodigy, right? You see there? Little segue into that. Talked about Uriah. Anyway, Song Yadong, he's just so strong everywhere. He's very strong. He's got elite level grappling, right? But he's got very strong hands, very heavy hands, especially the body shots. His body shots are very, very interesting. That's what sets him apart for me. But he's just, again, Uriah Faber's prodigy. I think that it's a revenge matchup because Peter Yan head kicked Uriah Faber into another dimension. I think that Yan gets it. I do. I think people have forgotten how good Peter Yan is, and they're kind of sleeping on him a little bit. I'm taking Peter Yan by decision, most likely. Yeah, Yeah, I think a decision for Peter Yan in that one. So then you've got Gilbert Burns taking on Jack Della Maddalena. This one's Brazil versus Australia. It's not really the nation versus nation. They're just two men that are fighting each other effectively. Now, Gilbert Burns, Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, he's not a Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu black belt. He's a world champion. Several times Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu black belt, and there are differences because he's got that world championship caliber Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu and some pretty good boxing as well. But don't let this guy get you to the ground. Don't let him get any kind of position on you because he will go home with an arm or a leg, more likely a choke. Jack Della Maddalena, he's this elite boxer out of Australia. His boxing really is elite. It's on another level. He might be the best boxer in the UFC. He really is that good. When you watch him, how he sets things up, he could probably have a run in actual boxing, but he just happened to put on the smaller gloves. He's very, very good. Takedown defense might need some work, honestly. But Della Maddalena is coming off 2 close fights, both split decisions, where his takedown defense didn't hold up completely the whole time. And that's got people questioning him. That's got people saying, well, if this guy can take him down, then Gilbert Burns will have a field day with him. You're forgetting, Gilbert Burns is coming off that shoulder injury. He's coming off a very serious shoulder injury that caused him to lose his last fight because he basically had one arm. He had to have it surgically repaired, and the man is now 37 years old. And these are welterweights, right? That's none of those are going in Gilbert Burns' favour. I think that Jack Della Maddalena this weekend reminds everybody how good his boxing is. I think his takedown defence will hold up because I don't think that necessarily Gilbert Burns is known for like shooting power doubles and for really, he'll get it to the ground in a scramble. But I think that Jack Della Maddalena's takedown defense is going to hold up, and on the feet, I think honestly he picks Gilbert Burns apart. I think it's going to be a knockout as well because he's got very heavy hands. Then you've got Kevin Holland taking on Michael Venom Page. This one I'm super excited about because we finally get to see MVP in the octagon. But let's talk about Kevin Holland first. Kevin Holland, he's a very good striker. He's good. He's a good striker. He's not a great striker. I would say that. I think that's fair. I think that's fair to say. He's got a Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu black belt that he tends only to use when it takes him because what lets Holland down more often than not is his fight IQ. He doesn't fight very smart a lot of the time. And I don't think I'm out of my mind in saying that. If you look at the record, like he decided to stay on the feet against Wonderboy Thompson and it cost him. He decided he's like, no, I'm just going to kickbox with you. And he got battered. And Michael Venom Page is a very similar style to Wonderboy Thompson. So I'll be interested to see if Kevin Holland has learned his lesson and see if he mixes it up a bit against Michael Page, because that's what he's going to have to do. Because Michael Venom Page, ladies and gentlemen, the guy he's already a superstar. He actually is. I know all he's done is fight cans over in Bellator. Actually, no, Santos wasn't a can. De Lima wasn't a can. Daly wasn't a can. He's fought some good competition, but he's also fought a lot of people that he was, with the greatest of respect, quite a lot better than. However, those people that he fought that were not as good as him, he dispatched them in a way that you'd see in a film. He's got movie level knockouts, like spinning, like 360 spinning kick, and then like he landed it, the guy went wobbling off, and he didn't even look at him. He's looking out at the crowd. And it's like, and that kind of stuff is amazing, right? The sky is the limit for this guy, especially, look, this is a good fight. Kevin Holland, he's well known, he's in the rankings, it's a good first fight. I do think that Kevin Holland is going to have to use some of his grappling if he wants to win this fight. But if he wants to test himself like he wanted to test himself against Stephen Thompson, that's going to cost him. It is. Striking, Kevin Holland is not on the level that Michael Venom Page is. If he gets him to the ground, this is a different story. But Kevin Holland's fight IQ has let him down several times before. I'm interested to see if Kevin Holland has learned his lesson or if he just wants to... fair play to him. I respect the cojones to say, no, I want to test myself against this guy's strongest attribute, but it's not always going to result in a win. And that's just me being like, I don't think I'm saying anything that's untrue there. With that in mind, I don't think that Kevin Holland has necessarily learned his lesson, or if he wants to learn the lesson. He might just want to test himself. Maybe he wants to knock out Michael Venom Page. Either way, I think if he tries to do that, Michael Venom Page is going to put on a clinic and he's going to put on a really high level knockout on Kevin Holland. Then you got Dustin Poirier against Benoit Saint Denis. This is one of my favourite fights because Benoit Saint Denis I've been a big fan of for a long time. And how can you not like Dustin Poirier? Dustin Poirier, he's a very unusual but effective fighter. He's good against southpaws, but then again twice that southpaw was Conor McGregor, and McGregor wasn't in his best years, on the second 2 fights. And Poirier knew that he could beat him. Poirier has beaten some absolutely brilliant people. Your Max Holloways, your Dan Hookers. Like, he put an absolute beat down on him. He's one of the best in the world, right? And he's so good in every area. In fact, he hasn't really got too many weaknesses. But Saint Denis, the new blood. Saint Denis, 10 years younger, I think. Like, Dustin Poirier is 37 now, and he's already talking about how he's not going to be doing this forever. I.e. not much longer. That worries me because it's almost like he's got one foot out the door. Benoit Saint Denis is a monster, right? He is ex-French special forces, special ops. He wanted to do mixed martial arts to make him a better soldier, right? And it turns out he's just so tough and so good that he's managed to go 13-1 in mixed martial arts. That one loss being an absolute bloodbath decision loss. I believe it's to Rafael Asanso, and that's a high-level guy right there. Outside of that, Benoit Saint Denis has finished all 13 of his wins, right? He either squeezes your face until you submit, squeezes your neck until you're unconscious, or beats you down until you can't go anymore. He's that good. So 9 submissions, 4 knockouts. The guy is unbelievably good because he's tough. He's so tough. It's ridiculous how tough he is. Sometimes that isn't a good thing, but at this stage in his career, it probably is. He hasn't got that many fight miles, and he's got that squaddy mentality. He's got that mentality of he's a special ops soldier. Look, this is a game to him. He's like, this is nothing he sees in the octagon will be the scariest thing that he's ever seen. Nothing. And there's something to having that mindset. And yeah, I'll tell you what, he's a scary proposition. He really is. And I think he gets Dustin Poirier in this one. Dustin Poirier is coming off that knockout loss to Justin Gaethje. He's not getting any younger. He's already talking about his retirement. Benoit Saint Denis is hungry. I said about a year ago, Benoit Saint Denis, he gets to the top of the division and he beats Islam Makhachev. And I stand by that. I do think he's got the skill set and he's got the toughness and he's got the mentality. He's got something really special about Benoit Saint Denis. I'm such a huge fan. Looking forward to this one. I think it's going to be Benoit Saint Denis. I think it's going to be maybe a TKO. I think I might go for the submission actually. Benoit Saint Denis by submission. That is my pick for that one. Then you've got the main event of the evening. Sugar Sean O'Malley against Marlon Vera. And yeah, this is an interesting fight. Sean O'Malley 17-1. The one is Marlon Vera. So this is a rematch. Sean O'Malley, he's an elite boxer with great Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. That's how I would describe him. His boxing, the knockout over Eddie Wyland was absolutely unreal. The way that he puts his combinations together, he just flows. He's really very, very good. He's got a polarizing personality. He's like a cheese grater, honestly. His personality is grating. And but he knows how to appeal to his audience, and boy has he done that. He makes a lot of money off Twitch streaming, everything else like that. All that aside, you cannot deny the guy is pretty elite. Do you know what I mean? He beat Peter Yan, very close fight, but he beat Peter Yan. And then he knocks out Aljamain Sterling. I think Aljamain Sterling at the time had the most title defences in bantamweight history, and Sean O'Malley knocked him out because his boxing is that good. Marlon Vera beat Sean O'Malley last time, and it was a legitimate win as well. Sean O'Malley often dismisses it, saying, oh, he got lucky because, a nerve went in my foot. No, the nerve went because Marlon Vera kicked the shit out of your leg, dude. Like, Marlon Vera was kicking your leg, trying to cripple you, and that's what happened. And then Marlon Vera won. No 2 fights are the same. I feel like Sean O'Malley may have gotten better since their first meet. Marlon Vera's gotten better as well. But I don't know, Sean O'Malley just seems to be on a different level right now. And I really want Vera to win. Personality-wise, I'm a much bigger fan of Marlon Vera. And maybe a part of that is I do want him to win. And I think, obviously, he can win. He's beaten Sean O'Malley before. There's just something that tells me, I think that Sean O'Malley might be the first to finish Marlon Vera, because that's something else to note. No one's ever finished Marlon Vera. Sean O'Malley's boxing, man. There's something special there. There really is. Just the way he flows with his combinations. He looked so good against Aljamain Sterling that I just can't pick against him. So I'm going to have to go Sugar Sean O'Malley. And still. But you know what? I'm a huge fan of Marlon Vera. Honestly, gun to my head, I'm going to be rooting for him. So I hope he proves me wrong. I really, really do. For me, this card is absolutely tremendous. Anticipation scale, I'm giving this a 9.1. 9.1 on the Burt Locker anticipation scale. Absolutely phenomenal card. If you're an MMA fan, you'll be tuning into this. Can't wait to see how it all goes down. And make sure you like, subscribe. I'll be doing some terrible bets on Saturday, just putting some accumulators together, just trying to get the longest odds possible with the shortest stakes, smallest stakes. Keep the stakes low, keep the odds long, keep the bets terrible. Until next time.